we're good? Can everybody hear me? Okay, great. Morning, everyone. My name is Carol Lehman, and I'm the CEO of Axonify. Axonify is a next-generation e-learning platform that combines elements of game mechanics with some real brain science to drive actual and very measurable knowledge retention in corporate employees. So we are a corporate-focused e-learning solution. The problems that we're addressing, I'll get to in just a moment, but just to give you a quick overview of the company, we're addressing a $130 billion market opportunity. That's just in North America. It's about $300 billion worldwide. Our customers include name brands that you all would have heard of, and I have a customer slide which I'll show you a little bit later. We are SaaS, cloud-based solutions, so very easy to implement across the enterprise. We are driving very massive and measurable bottom line results for our customers, and I'll talk about that in a moment. We've won multiple awards, and we're based in Waterloo, which is just southwest of Toronto in Canada. The team, this is my fourth technology company actually. I've sold the previous three quite successfully, the last one to Google a couple of years ago. It's a team I've worked with before, and we're going to make this one even bigger. So here are the challenges that the Axonify solution is addressing. Corporate training today is a combination of classroom-based, instructor-led learning. In fact, the largest portion is that. The other portion are typically LMS-based e-learning solutions. And they're one-time, event-based solutions with absolutely no reinforcement for the employee after the fact. The content focuses on the wrong things. It's very static and doesn't change based on the employee's specific job. They aren't fun, social, or gamified. In fact, we have employees tell us all the time that they absolutely hate the learning experience at work. They're delivered all at once to large groups of employees instead of on demand as the employee needs that learning. There is no underlying intelligence to track or personalize the learning and understand what does the employee actually not know so that those knowledge gaps can be addressed. And outcomes are not measurable. There is absolutely nothing to show what did the employee actually remember and operationalize on the job. What was that learning transfer? When employees don't remember what they're supposed to do every day, it costs employers millions and millions of dollars, and I'll give you a specific example. But first of all, I'll tell you that our platform is designed to address all the problems that I just spoke about, and there are four key elements of the platform. The first one is the brain science that I mentioned, and we employ concepts of reinforcement and retrieval, which I'll expand on in just a second. We're also highly personalized, very dynamic content on demand as the employee needs it. We employ elements of gamification, social rewards to actually get the employee to voluntarily participate every day that they're on the job. And then we measure everything, what they know, what they don't know, how long it took them to answer, and deliver very, very deep, granular metrics to the employer that are actionable and drive bottom line results. So what's the brain science behind what we do? There are a couple of key concepts that we employ in the platform. The first one is this idea of interval reinforcement, or something called spaced repetition. The second one is something called retrieval practice. So spaced repetition is something that's been studied over 100 years, thousands and thousands of studies. And essentially what it says is this: if I tell you something once in a training session, whether it's online or in classroom, the way your brain actually works is 30 days later, you will remember less than 10% of that information. If I tell you that same piece of information up to 5 times or 6 times in a 30-day period, you'll actually remember it long-term greater than 90%. Retrieval practice is the simple act of going back in your brain and recalling information. This study was published a couple of years ago, and it showed that even doing that twice is far superior to any other form of learning or studying. So those two things are what we employ in the platform, and when you combine it with game mechanics, you actually drive a highly motivated employee to get on and learn. So here's how it works. Oh, the video's not going to play. There's a little video. So I'll tell you about the video while they're getting it to work. essentially what the employee does, what the experience is the employee gets on the platform, chooses a game to play. It's a 3-minute-a-day experience. They have questions specific to them embedded in the platform that pop out of the game. They get immediate feedback as to right or wrong. They earn points for answering questions correctly or incorrectly. And then they can redeem those points for rewards, specific rewards that the employer makes available to them. And then the employer gets some very deep and granular metrics over the 5 or 6 iterations of the questions over time as to what the employee knows or doesn't know. That's the experience. So I'm sorry the slide's just not going forward. I don't know why. So I'll carry on. Some specific examples for you. Pep Boys, which is one of our customers, they had a couple of huge areas of loss. They're a 20,000 retail associate employer with 700 retail stores. And they decided to deliver content in short sound bites using the platform in a couple of those areas. One was employee theft of merchandise, which is astronomical in retail generally. And what they did was they thought employees understood how to report theft, what to observe, all of those sorts of things, how to use their tips line correctly. We did a baseline knowledge awareness with the platform on the first iteration of questions. Pep Boys employees understood less than 50% of that content. By the 5th iteration of questions, a month later, they understood the content and what to do and what to actually do on the job, up to 98% across those 20,000 associates. Today we deliver about a $50 million a year annual savings to Pep Boys across employee theft, which we've reduced by 55% in the last 3 years each of. And also we've delivered another $10 million savings in medical accidents and injuries. So as I mentioned, our customers are the brand names that you would know: Walmart, Bloomingdale's, Toys R Us in the retail sector, and other sectors for sales, complex knowledge training, Johnson & Johnson, Bayer, organizations like that. So I'll leave you with a quote, and the quote is essentially that it's a Mark Twain quote, and the quote is, if you think knowledge is dangerous, try ignorance. If you think delivering knowledge to your employees is dangerous or costly, try the cost of not delivering that knowledge and not having them remember. Thanks. Sorry.